welcome to another brilliant episode of the Growth, Health, and Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Jesse the Truth, as well as my
co-host Tierica.
and because she did such an amazing job last time she came here, we have another amazing guest who's been here before, Chinwe Orabuchi, and we're going to talk about this goddess energy. You know, as women, y'all bringing life into this world. Y'all are amazing, and there's so much things that comes to y'all health and well-being that it's important that we discuss that, especially as black women, because we're going to highlight that because black women, we know, are the most disrespected women on this planet, especially when it comes to health. They don't believe y'all when y'all say these type of things. So we're going to get into it today. So I'm just going to moderate as a man. I have no say-so. I'm going to let the women handle this.
And
so
just
we're gonna
chime in occasionally.
Yeah, I'm going to chime in occasionally. But, you know, no say-so over here. So we're going to talk about body image and how it affects your mental, emotional, and physical health. Because as we know, social media is a thing now. Everybody wants the thickness. Everybody wants the curvy type of image. Everybody wants to be an influencer. And I feel like with kids now coming into contact with that and like, you know what I'm saying, young girls wanting to get BBLs and things of that nature, it's important to talk about that type of health.
Yes.
So go ahead, lead the way, I guess.
Okay, so really this is such a tough generation to be in. I feel like, it's new. All this stuff is new. We're trying to find this wave in this world now. I guess with this body image, I always say things start at home. So it's something that you have to, instill at home with your children, with your spouse, with, just really, even with yourself. Like, other people can do so much, but you just got to find that spiritual peace, that place where, you're totally, unfazed by everything around you. And even if you see it, it's just like, okay, it is what it is, but I'm me. And that takes a lot. That's a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but you just have to take social media for what it is, and it's just social media.
No, absolutely.
I was gonna say I think it's important, even as parents. Like I don't have kids, but as a parent, being able to monitor what your kid is getting on social media because it's body image is a lot and it's all over Instagram and now TikTok. Mm-hmm. And when these kids go to school, they are, judging each other, and somebody may have a lower self-esteem because of what another girl is telling them. And it's unfortunate and it's sad, but if as a parent at home, you are kind of monitoring, and talking about these things with your kid, I think it will definitely help them, and keep them in a more positive mental aspect. And it's even interesting how things have evolved because back when I was younger, the typical body image was very slim and slender. So, that's affecting people's health because now they're not eating because they want to be a certain size. And now we're in a space where it's better for people to be more curvy. That's more of like ideal, and we see the BBLs and stuff, but then I don't know if that turns into like, people overeating or, picking up not so healthy eating habits and health habits to fit this type of image that, is being promoted.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that when you think about it, like, we have photos from when we were little where, like, it looks like, yeah, you're a kid.
Yes.
But nowadays, kids are like, they have filters and stuff now. They're dressing to the nine. It's just like, bro, you're
makeup.
6.
They wear makeup.
They look like adults. It's a dangerous time.
Especially for young women because, like, we all know, like, I've seen men be predators, or I'm sure, what I'm saying, y'all have had y'all experience where men try to come after y'all at young ages. You let them know, and they're like, well, what that mean is just like, what I'm saying, the more you present yourself as a grown-up, the more these predators are coming out the woodworks. And, it's a field day for them in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
And they are out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already knowing. But, see, so, like, what do you think is the mental effect of that? Because now, like, what I'm saying, you have access to these celebrity lives and all that at the click of your button. You see what they're doing. You see what they're wearing. And, everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it's just like, that has to have, like, a major mental effect on a woman to, like, oh, am I not pretty enough? Am I not doing this? Because we've all seen it before, especially, like, back in the day. like in black women, like, you know what I'm saying, being colorism, like, oh, if you're dark, you know what I'm saying, people are looking at you a certain way. If you're light skinned, people are looking at you a certain way. So like that's already mental trauma within itself. So now having to factor in like, oh, I got to keep up my body too. Like, man.
But mentally, it really is taking a toll on people. And clinically, I'm seeing it with patients. With the rate of depression has gone up, and the rate of suicide has gone up. And it's like you become so consumed in this, you feel like you're no longer good enough. So now people are ending their lives, or they're in extremely depressed states. They're on medications. It's like, man, like what is the resolution for this?
Oh, absolutely. And if you're thinking or having those thoughts, if you're struggling with depression or like suicidal thoughts, please, you know what I'm saying, reach out, get help, do what you need to. You're valuable. We cherish your life. Your life has meaning. Don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, whatever's going through your mind, that it would be better if you weren't here, because you're not realizing the type of effect that you're putting on your friends and your family after you're gone. So, you know what I'm saying, definitely reach out and get help. What about spiritually, though? Like, that's another topic within itself. I mean, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to spirituality, like the spiritual health for a woman.
I think the spiritual health is understanding your purpose, your why in life. I think that once you have that foundation set, I think then mentally, physically, and all your other aspects of health kind of align for you. But really being spiritually rooted, having a foundation, I think that really drives a person to live a more fulfilling life.
I definitely agree with that. And just thinking about spirituality and allowing it to ground you. And what I can say is, you know, even being on social media, I do see a lot more people stepping into their spirituality or their spiritualism and actually, you know, evolving in that area. And it's a beautiful thing because it, you know, you learn how to keep yourself grounded, keep a balance in your life, and, you know, just a lot of healthy aspects that can keep you very sane and, you know, not
Absolutely.
depressed and upset.
And we're not here to dog social media. I mean, everybody uses it, and social media has its bright spots as well as its dark spots. I think with anything, things are just magnifiers for humans. Just the same with like money or something like that. It's not sit there to be like, oh, we're gonna make you evil, we're gonna do this and that. It's just, it's gonna magnify whatever, you know what I'm saying, is highlighted. So if you're already greedy, of course money is gonna make you more greedy. If you're already an asshole, you know what I'm saying, you're just gonna be more of an asshole on social media now that you got access to all these people. So it's just a magnifier. And I think social media is just, that's the age we're in, and unfortunately,
you just have
like,
to take it for what it is.
Exactly, because I mean, kids are gonna have access to it. I mean, we all know that even when parents try to keep us away from certain stuff, we're wondering why. Well, we're gonna figure out a way to do this. I mean, everybody, you know, watch the R-rated movie when they weren't supposed to. I mean, that's just the natural curiosity of kids. So, I mean, definitely monitor them, and just like you said, it starts at home. So just, you know what I'm saying, definitely being in your kids' life and just,
I think that's important, being in their life and, you
not
know,
telling them, guiding them. Because I think when I have kids, I want to just, you know what I'm saying, highlight the consequences. Like, I want my kids to be open with me. So you tell me something, I'm not going to be like, don't do that, this, that, and third. I'm going to be like, hey, all right, you want to do this? I'm going to show you all the consequences that come with that, whether it's good or bad. And I'm going to let you make that decision. But you're not going into it, you know what I'm saying, not knowing, like, what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I done already bumped my head for you, so I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And if you still do it, when they bump your head, I'm going to be looking at you like, yeah, it hurt, don't it? So,
but you know what? I think that's what piques a lot of kids' curiosity, because if they want to do something, you just tell them no. They're like, well, why? And if they don't have a reason why, or, you know, anything to go off of, they're going to go find out why they can't do that thing.
Exactly. So that's why I feel like guidance just works better than just telling. Because if I tell you something, I mean, everybody's been told something, they going to go against the grain. You know, everybody got the little rebel spirit. And especially me. You tell me no, I'm going to go against it just because you told me.
Just because. Definitely.
Absolutely. So, I mean, eating habits, how can they affect your overall health?
Ooh, definitely. So this is one research I was reading about. It was a study done in England, I think, or Europe, somewhere like that. They did a study on rats, and they fed them a certain type of diet, like processed foods, fast foods, junk foods, and these rats over time started to exhibit behaviors like cannibalism, eating their young, very aggressive behaviors. And it's like, okay, let's kind of translate that to what we see with fast food, the fast food industry, and lower socioeconomic areas. We see more aggressive behaviors there, lots of violence, things like that. And it's kind of like, okay, look, can we step back and take a look that what we're eating is affecting our mental health? What we serve children, what is presented in schools, what's in certain neighborhoods is having effect on children mentally. Maybe their ability to concentrate, and so on and so forth. But what we eat definitely does play a part in our mental health.
So how do you think that correlates to women?
With women, with our mental depression, body image is, I think, a really, really big thing with us women. We're constantly being, I guess, pushed this certain type of image. And if you're eating certain foods that aren't promoting like growth and, proper nutrients, you're going to exhibit certain types of behaviors, whether it is the aggressive behaviors as stated or it's the depressed behaviors.
Oh, absolutely. So how do you think those eating habits affect your vaginal health and your menstruation cycle? Because we all know as women, I salute y'all because there's no way possible I can still be working and doing everything. We all know men's pain tolerance is trash compared
Yes,
to women's.
it is.
Y'all get sick and turn into babies.
And that's why I said if I ever
okay.
created a company and all that or a business, I would definitely give women hey, it's a week out. You know what I'm saying? Whenever y'all menstruation time is, y'all get a paid week off, and that's cool. And even if you take advantage of it and do it as far as yeah, it's just I'd rather do that because it's other countries that do that for women because again, some of y'all are blessed to have periods that are short and y'all don't really experience that many symptoms, but some of y'all are, man, I couldn't even imagine y'all be curled up into a ball and everything is just and this man, we just get to walk around free why are y'all tripping?
Every day, just free, every day. But I think a lot of that plays into what you eat.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think really what a lot of women today don't understand is we really should be eating according to our menstrual cycle. So during certain times, we have those moments right before our cycle begins where we're really hungry, you're having PMS symptoms, all that stuff. Allow your body to eat some healthy carbs, increase your calorie intake, allow food that's nourishing, to the body. And that will help, alleviate a lot of those PMS symptoms.
What I can say, speaking from personal experience, in high school, it was 7 days of death for me. Okay,
yes.
It was 7 days of death. But as I have gotten older and learned about health and what to eat, I can say that when I stopped eating meat and dairy in my diet and I started taking certain type of herbs daily, it's a breeze now. A total transformation. So it's really, really big. And not even just the food that you eat, but actually taking advantage of the herbs that we have. We have so many different herbs that benefit you in many different ways and have nutrients that really can help you. And those things are so important, and it helps a lot.
For sure.
Couldn't even imagine. So how do you think that affects your vaginal health? Because, it's always those little rumors are saying that it's you got to eat your fruit. Yeah, you got to eat your pineapple. You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. That is a fact. As a woman, we have our vagina has a pH level, and certain foods can throw off that pH level.
Certain things can too. Man, we gonna get to talking about that the next episode. Me and Bravo gonna get y'all right as far as your penile health. So
Yes. So certain foods. So if you are eating an excessively high fat processed food diet, it can throw off your pH and it can change your smell, and it could be fishy. It can change the color of your discharge. It can cause irritation, all those things, and that's when you kind of got to take a step back and be like, okay, what am I eating?
Yeah. Eat more pineapples and less hot Cheetos and soda.
Exactly.
As man, educate yourself about the vagina. It's so important. It's more than what man in society makes it. So
It's very delicate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't be
delicate little
uncomfortable about it.
flower.
I think that'd be the thing too. A lot of people be uncomfortable to talk about these type of topics, but it's important because it's just like how many women have had to go through life and not had nobody to really talk about this type of stuff to them.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? How many times have y'all had to figure this out on your own? And as men, we're just looking like, oh, ain't nobody got to tell us nothing. And it's just, we're throwing off your pH balance because we don't know any better. And it's
Yes. And I just saw a whole thread about that, like how men actually different things will throw off a woman's pH balance, and it was very
again, man, we gonna get to it. Next
Exactly.
episode, me and Bravo gonna
I'll
get
bring
y'all
that
right.
information.
Talking about grooming, the reason why it's important, how we are affecting more women by sleeping around than you know. We gonna get to it. Just what I'm saying. We got
Stay tuned.
y'all. Absolutely. So spiritual health. Why is that important to find your path? Like we talked about earlier, you know what I'm saying, why it's important to just like have that anchor, but why is it really important to find that path? Like what has spirituality done for y'all as women?
So spirituality for me has really centered me and grounded me. Growing up, I never really compared myself to other people, but I did experience like a lot of anger and frustration. And it was like as soon as I like stepped into this spiritual path, it was like people were like, "What is wrong with you? Where did you come from?" Because I'm just so the word Zen. Zen is really a good way to describe it, just calm and peaceful, but it gives you a sense of direction. It gives you a sense of, like she said, purpose. And when you have a purpose that you are living for every day, that is something greater than yourself. It actually keeps you focused, keeps you in line, and it just makes you overall feel good. You're focused on yourself and not comparing yourself to other people. It just gives you that straight line.
Definitely. I definitely want to piggyback on that. Like everything you said, it like you said, a purpose. It keeps me grounded. It keeps me peaceful. It keeps me driven. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me happy.
I love those. Those are such good affirmations. Yes.
So how do you think that, like, you know what I'm saying, helps y'all when it comes down to being black women in this world? Because as we know, black women are looked as part as like, oh, it's always that stereotype, like y'all the strongest human beings, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can take on whatever, no matter what y'all do, you know what I'm saying? Y'all really move the culture. But at the same time, that can be a heavy, you know what I'm saying, stereotype as well, because y'all experience pain, y'all experience emotions, but to show that or display that is basically in the sense of being caught slipping. So how do you feel like spirituality helps you with the burden that y'all carry as women in this world?
I think for me, I can definitely say that it gives me a sense of peace. Like, I'm like, okay, I no longer am at the point where I need to lash out with certain things. I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I think we spoke about this before. It is what it is. If something doesn't go my way, it is what it is. It just allows me to be at a place where I'm okay not being the strong woman. I'm okay, like I can verbalize if, something offends me or hurts me in a way that's not aggressive. Like I can, just be soft, be delicate, be a woman, and just rest in that. And I feel like my spirituality really helped me with that.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
beautiful.
With your spirituality I think for me, when I started with the spiritual journey, it helped me tap more into the feminine energy because, I grew up with two brothers, so I wasn't like the softest or, this whatever. But definitely on the spiritual journey, it helped me tap into the more feminine side, and just knowing that you don't have to lash out for everything, and actually learning how to breathe through situations. We've talked about that before, learning how to breathe through situations, meditating through certain things, and actually taking a step back and looking at things from different perspectives literally allows me to, make the best decision on whatever I'm facing, so.
So how do you think that helps with like women overthinking? Because it is a fact that women remember better because y'all tie y'all tie emotion to everything. It's the reason why men are so forgetful, because we don't tie emotion to everything. We're very simple to where we're just like, you tell us something, we're like, okay, we do that. And then you tell us something else, we're just like, or like when women expect men to like read their minds, and we're just like, just be blunt with us. So how do you think that helps? Because like as women, y'all overthink things. Y'all get to going one thing, tying together. Y'all are great detectives and story
Yes,
Piecers.
I can admit that now. I am, and I overthink. But now I ask. If a question comes to mind, or I feel like I'm stressing about something or overthinking it, I'm gonna ask. I mean, the worst that you can say is yes or no or whatever, but I'm gonna ask.
So what helped y'all, you know what I'm saying, you get to that? Cause like, I mean, you can ask, but you know what I'm saying, it had to take a little while before you was like, you know what, I'm really overthinking everything.
Running into a brick wall every time when you're overthinking, like it causes stress. It's stressful to overthink things, and now I'm just like, I mean, okay, well, I'll ask 50 million questions. If it drives you crazy, it's just gonna drive you crazy. But you know,
And you know what's funny? I actually am not the question asker. If I'm overthinking something, I always go within. If it's something really, really serious, then I'll ask. But what I've learned to do is whenever I'm overthinking, I actually found this technique that I've been doing, and it's called EFT tapping. Have y'all heard of that?
I have not.
So it's basically it's one of my girls that I watch on YouTube and her manifestation video. So basically, when you're overthinking a situation, it brings up those emotions, and you feel like you feel uneasy and you're unhappy. Well,
You see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about?
No, that's
Women
right.
got-
listen, it happens, okay? It's natural. You feel uneasy, you feel unhappy, but what you can do in that moment is you can tap those emotions away. So it's you do it in the eyebrow, I release and let it go. I release and let it go on the temple. I release and let it go on the cheekbone. I release and let it go on the collarbone. Then you hold your wrist as like a sense of protection, and you say, it's okay for me to let this thing go. Take a deep breath in, and then you release and say peace. When I say that works, it works.
wow.
Okay, it's powerful. So the girl who I watch it on YouTube, she was explaining it, and I've been practicing that ever since. But it's a guy, I think his name was like Ronald Smith or something, that went really into detail. But I didn't need all that. I just needed that one little technique. It works. Or all right, but I'm not good at asking questions.
I am just a very inquisitive person, so I just need to know.
I love it. But that's good because that's
Ain't nothing wrong
upfront.
with that.
But you just have to find what outlet works
Yes.
for you and what's going to calm you, because at the end of the day, you're overthinking and it's bringing up these emotions. What is going to calm you and make you feel better? Is asking somebody and you get an answer from them going to make you feel better? Yes, maybe. But if you ain't trusting somebody, then, figure
You
out
need
a
to
different
release and let it
outlet.
go. Release
There
and
we
let
go. Listen, it's it's all honesty.
Yes.
It is, and I mean, hey, we in a world where everybody's trying to control the situation. Everybody's trying to manipulate and deceive or do whatever to get the upper hand over something. And I don't know,
That's
for
true.
a man, that's got to be very
Unsettling.
stressful.
Yeah.
We
I
gonna
mean,
get to
one
that.
thing that you can do is also, this was in I forgot the name of the book, but it's the 4 laws or something. Don't make assumptions.
The
So,
48 laws of power.
No, not the 48 laws of power. It's the 4. It's something 4. I don't know. I'll look it up.
The 4 is a strong number. That's why in my future ebook, the 4 U's is coming soon. See, 4 is a
4
strong
something.
number.
But it's the 4. I'll look it up so I can tell y'all what the name of it is. But one of them in there is don't make assumptions. So when we make assumptions, what are we doing? As women, we're great at making assumptions because we're going to create a whole story,
Yeah.
a whole scenario, and we've put this whole thing together, and it might not even be true.
What they say, don't make assumptions or you make an ass out yourself.
So in situations like that, it is good to ask, because if you come up with your own story, no.
But it's understandable why y'all do that, because, you know what I'm saying, nothing is more powerful than a woman's intuition. So the moment
Exactly.
There
that
we
starts
go.
dinging off, like, y'all get to, like, something going on. So,
But we
what
also have
it
to
is.
identify, is the intuition going off because it's intuition or is it fear? Because sometimes we're in situations that it's reminding us of a past situation, so it's bringing up old emotions, and that's fear. It's not our intuition. It's just we're scared in this
Because, see,
situation.
then y'all bounce off stuck points. And that's just not women. That's just everybody in general. I feel like we have, like, trauma points in our life that we ricochet off of because we adapt in a certain way to them, and we feel like, all right, that made us stronger, but we didn't do it in a healthy way. Again, we're going to talk about this in a future episode. Don't worry, I'm going to spend a little minute on this, but yeah, you basically ricocheting out those points, and you thinking like, oh, okay, those situations made me stronger, but it really, like, there's stuck points for you. So anytime a situation gets similar to that, you're ricocheting back to that point. You're like, no, I'm not letting that happen again. So you know what I'm saying? You easily moving around in a toxic type of way, running away from your problems and traumas, thinking like you're being strong. And again, I think that falls back on being like, you know what I'm saying, the stereotype of like, as a woman, you can't be caught slipping. You got to be strong. You got to, you know what I'm saying, do the most. And you know what I'm saying, again, as black women, y'all deserve the love and the praise and the worship. I don't deserve none of the hate. But unfortunately, we live in a world where black people are at the bottom of the list. And you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that could really be done for y'all but to put that on y'all shoulder and just like, you know what I'm saying, steady conquer. Because, man.
Make your own list. Make your own world.
Exactly.
You
Because
know?
black people continue to conquer the world, continue to move it. You know what I'm saying? The coaching, all that, regardless of the shackles and bounds that's been holding them back for centuries. And you know what I'm saying? Again, it's okay to, you know what I'm saying, release that type of, you know what I'm saying, stress, be emotional. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be strong all the time because that's very unrealistic.
It is.
And you know what I'm saying? You're just carrying around a lot of that trauma and pain, and it's affecting everything around you. But, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make it look good. I got to say that. Black people make it look good. Y'all never, you know what I'm saying, realize like, oh, dang, they had all these limitations.
I think we're good at making stuff look good.
I think so.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Y'all make it look amazing.
Real quick, I'm just going to intervene because I did find the book. It is called The Four Agreements.
Oh, okay.
You read it.
No, I didn't read it, but I think Brandon has like the books at the shop, and I think he was going to like hand them out or something like that, or do like some type of like little give back to where that was going to be like the gift.
That one was a good one. The Four Agreements.
So I got to add that to my list. I got a long list of books I got to read.
Yeah, same.
That's why sometimes I just listen to audiobooks because I feel like I can listen to them in the car instead of listening to music and just let them
still
play
getting
through.
the information.
Absolutely.
You're still downloading it.
So why is self-love important? Why is putting yourself first? Because, you know, everybody struggles with self-love, but it's the most important type of love that we can receive. I think, you know what I'm saying, self-love carries and affects your relationships because I don't need you to love me. I can love myself. So what more can you bring to the table? So why is self-love so important?
Definitely I say self-love is important because that's like the root of it. You can't love anyone else if you don't love you because you're going to be accepting just anything from anybody, you know? But when you love yourself, it's like a sense of peace. It's literally just everything when you love yourself. When you love yourself, like there's joy in that, there's happiness in that, there's hope in that. But, you know, if you don't love yourself, it's easy for someone to come in and tear you down.
Definitely.
I like that. Self-love is definitely important because, like she said, if you don't love yourself, then you can't expect somebody else to love you. But you also find yourself, if you don't experience that self-love, then you are searching for love from other places, and you're never going to fully feel fulfilled until it starts from within. Like, everything has to start from within. And what we experience in our outer world is a reflection of how we feel on the inside. So if we aren't loving ourselves, or we're negatively talking to ourselves, or we're, you know, saying these things to ourselves, then we experience that in the people around us. You know, even as kids, if kids, you know, feel if they don't love themselves, or they you know, are talking, I don't feel like I'm good enough, then there's somebody bullying them. You know, and it's like it's a reflection of what we feel on the inside. So changing that and actually knowing that you are the greatest person. Like, nobody's perfect, but I think we're all perfect in our own individual ways. And if you live with that, your life can be a whole lot better.
Because it's only one you. That's your superpower in the world. Like, it's only one you. No matter if somebody kind of look like you, you know, everybody says everybody has a doppelganger or whatever. Yeah, regardless of the fact, nobody's going to move or do the things that you do because that's your superpower. That's who you are. And don't let the world or anybody else change that. And I think that's a bad habit that we have too, is like we let the world and our situations change how we are. If somebody's taking advantage of like the love we give, we like, all right, we stop giving the love. But you can't be doing that because naturally it's always going to be people who try to take advantage of those situations. When they do, cut them off, restrict the access they have to you. But don't change, you know what I'm saying, who you are as a person, because now you're not being authentic. Now you're not being who you really are anymore. You're not being what, you know what I'm saying, you were created for. You're going to let the world change you. So what are some ways that, like, y'all can, you know what I'm saying, give yourself self-love? Like, where does it start at?
What you eat. What you eat is a big example of self-love. I mean, you're caring about your body, what you're feeding it, how it's growing, just starting there. And then, of course, what you do outwardly with your body. So you're if you're sleeping around constantly, if you're, giving yourself to things that you don't need to be giving yourself to, that's not a form of self-love.
Definitely making sure that things make you feel complete. Whatever you are partaking in, if it brings you happiness, if it brings you joy, that's a part of self-love. The food is definitely a huge thing, but you can also, make it cute. Have like a little self-care day, go on a spa day, get your nails done, whatever makes you happy. At the end of the day, whatever it is to you that makes you happy, that is a form of self-love. If writing in a journal, sitting on the beach makes you happy, that's self-love. Meditating, going to dinner with a friend, that you enjoy talking to. Anything, it's like when you think about good, positive vibes and just happy vibrations, that's anything that brings you that happiness, that is a part of self-love. So
No, absolutely.
keep a smile on your face.
I think it's because everybody's like searching for happiness, but they always search for it in the wrong places.
Yeah.
Or they searching from the wrong things. I think we always expecting people to bring us happiness, or we think if we get all this money, fame, and power, that's going to bring us happiness. But, it's been shown time and time again that, regardless of if you have all those things, if you don't find the happiness for yourself, like, those aren't going to give it to you. You got to find your self-happiness, and happiness starts within.
The thing is, you can't see what is making somebody else happy and then expect for it to make you happy. Because if you have this super souped up Jeep or something, if that makes you happy, that just because I go get that, that's not going to make me happy. Don't compare what makes other people happy to what would make you happy. You have to find what you truly enjoy and what you want.
Absolutely. And I think, a lot of times it just be financial situations and all that. And I mean, of course, it's not fun to be financially struggling and all that. But if you get that money tomorrow, it's still not going to change the fact that you're unhappy. You just have more access to more things. But, you know what I'm saying? Again, it starts from within. So I think that's very important. So, like, dang, I'm trying to think. My mind just went blank for a minute. So it's like, exactly. So as women, like, what do y'all think is the most important thing for other women to know?
I'll let you start this.
Look, she's like,
What do you
okay.
think about this one?
Yeah, because okay, say the question one more time, and then I got the answer for you. Go.
So, like, what's the most important thing that you would want other women to know? Because, like, you know what I'm saying, we all, like, have those thoughts of, like, man, I wish I knew this when I was younger and all that. So, like, what would you tell another young lady?
So I have a couple of things. The first thing that I'm going to start with is it's a sisterhood. Women, we have to stick together. It's not us against all these other people, but a lot of women can tend to be catty and, oh, well, they don't like this person and it's gossiping. It's just a lot of negative energy. And for what? If we are women helping other women, then we need to build each other up. So create a sisterhood, be friends. Don't frown on somebody because of, what they may have or not have. It's irrelevant. So, we're stronger together. We are much stronger together, and it's more empowering when you come together. That I think is a really, really important thing for young girls and all women to know.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how I'm going to tackle this question is what I would tell a younger me. I would definitely say to love you. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. What is it? Comparison is the thief of joy. Is that the right saying?
I think so.
Yes. Love you. That's going to be the main one. From everything that we said, it's going to be self-love. Because you don't really learn that going to school and growing up. You're not taught to love you. You're taught all these other things, math, science, English, writing, but there's no class on how to love you. And I think that's something that, like, we really need to put into school, especially now for mental health, is a self-love. Self-love. And how to do it, I guess maybe a therapist has a better way of laying that out. I don't have the answers for that, but
Because
self-love.
there's many different ways that you
Exactly.
can love yourself. You know, it like we've been saying, it all just depends on what makes you happy, you know, what you enjoy doing. But I like how you said what you would say to your younger self, because I know I used to be like kind of angry with my younger, like growing up. So it's like, why? What? Instead of focusing on negative things, focus on positive things, you know. And sometimes it's easier said than done, depending on the certain situation or circumstance that you're in. But you have to pull yourself out of that situation at some point in time. So even, you know, as young women, if you're battling certain things, you have to be strong enough and find a support system, you know, like I said, a group of girls that, you know, you can be with that can pull you out of those situations, and, you know, just have good conversation topics and, you know, stuff like that.
Absolutely. A strong support system is always important. Like, regardless of what you're doing in life, having those people in life who aren't going to judge you, who are going to help you, like, hey, who are going to pull you to the side when you're making those mistakes, or like just doing stuff that's like harming yourself, and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? If you need me, I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying, you need to talk. You know what I'm saying? I got an ear for you, or something like that. Just anything that, you know what I'm saying, can be done with a group of people that's just there to just support you and uplift you. Because it's nothing like, you know what I'm saying, being around people who you know are going to slip up. If you slip up, they're going to tear you down in a sense. And I think as young kids, we all suffer from that. Because especially as men, again, we're going to get into this like in the next episode. But as men, like the reason why most young men disrespect women is because at some point in our life coming around like other boys, like, if you were treating women nicely, they were making fun of you. They clowning you, bro. You love her. Like, you know what I'm saying? You talk to put all these things over a woman because if you're not, your boys are going to make fun of you. That's not a good support system at all. And not having strong men to sit there and like, hey, don't listen to these other, you know what I'm saying, group of boys here. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. And uplifting that is like so important.
Mm-hmm. And I think when it comes to like the younger generation, especially younger women, it would be good to have a mentor, you know, having a good role model, because of course, you know, on our social media, those people are role models, whether we want to, you know, like it or not, they're role models. But having somebody physically in person that is a good, healthy role model, especially for your like preteen or teenage daughter, I think that would be a really good,
That's really
you
good.
know, good thing.
And it kind of tragic that we don't have more programs like that. I know when I was coming up, I came up in a program called the I Have a Dream Foundation, and they would have that in a sense to where like they had like mentors and stuff. Because my sister had a mentor. I remember, I think her name was Catherine or something like that. But like, man, shout out to Miss Sally down there. I Have a Dream, where she used to be there, and like she mentored the kids, and like the things that I've seen her do for a lot of the young women in that community is just amazing. Like, she's just been there as a supporting cast, whatever they need and all that. Just, you know what I'm saying, following the school, make sure they doing like what they need to be doing, and just providing them access to certain, you know, certain things that they probably wouldn't have access to. And it's just, man, mentors are extremely important.
Very.
So what's another thing, like when it comes down to y'all, to a woman's health, it is important for women to know? Whether it's like, you know what I'm saying, going to the doctors to get y'all checkups and stuff like that, making sure your spouse is going to get their checkups and stuff like that. Like, what is something in the medical field that you feel like women need to know?
One thing that I feel like women need to know is when after you work out, don't sit in those clothes for too long. That is really good. That's really bad for your vaginal health, and it can lead to yeast infections and all kinds of things. So it's really good to extra tight clothing, workout clothing, switch those out often.
I like that. And even, you know, just to piggyback off of that, when you go to sleep, scientific studies say that it is better to just sleep with no clothes on, and it's better.
Yep.
Just be free, like a little butterfly.
It is. I mean, because think about it, you're constricting that area that needs to go through its healing process while, you know, you sleep. It's a restoration process with the rest of your body, and you're constricting that. So just allow yourself to be free.
Yeah. And I can say dealing with vaginal health and wanting to keep it, you know, as healthy as possible. There's so many factors in this world that play a part in that. Like, it depends on everybody's sensitivity levels and things, but it's certain things that you probably wouldn't even think of that affect it. What is it? Laundry detergent, you know, things with fragrances in them, you know, anything with dyes in them. A lot of things can play a part into, causing irritations and just certain smells and discharges. It's crazy. And I think that we should have more information just readily available for people to help them out. But just of course, keeping track of what you're eating and, like you said, how tight your clothes are, and, just let it be free.
I think that's super important, just because, like, we know we came up in the time where it's just like, we've heard in all the music, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I taste like this. I smell like this. So it's been a very heightened sense. Yeah. I hope you don't like Aquafina. That's acidic water right there.
That was the song. That was the song.
Nah, I know exactly what you mean. You want that alkaline water. You want the pH
good spring water,
right.
okay?
Yes.
Good spring water.
But yeah, we coming up in a time where it's just been highlighted like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Your stuff needs to be smelling and tasting like this, to where women are putting all sorts of things down there that are throwing it off and making it worse.
You know what I will say? Some people think, or some women think, that it's healthy for it to just be dry. No type of anything, no discharge, no nothing. And that's actually not healthy. There's a such thing as healthy discharge, and then there's a such thing as non-healthy discharge. Mm-hmm. It just depends on the amounts, the color, odor, and things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I definitely say for women, this is more something we've seen in the older generation, but douching, you don't need to do that. Your body naturally cleanses itself each time you go through your cycle. So
yeah, there's no reason to really put too many different things up there. It's only certain things that are okay.
I'm telling you, man, I could not.
It's very intricate, okay?
It
the
is.
maintenance that y'all have to do is so delicate, so fragile, and so precious that
life comes through there. So if you have that mindset that, okay, this is a portal where life is coming through it, you really will, take it more seriously.
And that's why, like, I just appreciate women, just like coming from my mother and all that, and just being raised in a household where it was just nothing but women. It's just, man, y'all get close to death just to bring life in here. Y'all sharing the creation of life. That is an amazing feat. Like, no man can sit here and say, man, I created life. Like, granted, it's down there, but it's just like, without a woman, is nothing here for us to create life with. Nope. It's just, it's amazing. So what's something that y'all want men to know? Because, we get a lot of things wrong. We got a law in Texas where they trying to ban women from getting abortions and all types of stuff. So what is it, something that y'all want men to know that we constantly overlook and constantly disregard and constantly mess up all the time?
You started this.
Look, I feel like I just opened up Pandora's box at this point.
It just made me laugh a little bit. Gosh,
Y'all know.
What?
Y'all know. Okay. It's something that y'all done witness. Like, man, I wish man knew this.
I mean, listen, I'm just going to make it real light. And I might, add some more info in just a second. Just give me a minute. But just real quick to keep it light, if women are experiencing PMS symptoms or anything, men it's like y'all just want to be too touchy-feely around them times. Nobody wants to deal with that. Like, just give us some space. Give us some space, especially depending on the severity, because I know there's some women who experience really terrible cramps, and, it can get pretty intense. And you're a guy, so you don't know what the woman is feeling at that time, and it can be excruciating. And y'all want to be all lovey-dovey, and just have a seat somewhere. Just have a seat.
I'm the opposite.
Have a seat. Look at you.
She's like, come here, touch me.
A back rub, like.
But see, it affects everybody, differently. Now, I'm speaking from a past self, okay? This is a past self because I don't have, them symptoms and stuff no more. But when I did, go away. Go away.
A foot massage, a back. But okay, so something I would say is, men, what you eat matters. What you eat definitely matters, because, it throws off your pH balance also. It throws off your smell. It throws off your everything. So just for men, what I want y'all to know. Yes.
As a man, if you're expecting her to, swallow the kids, yeah, you taste horrible. Then you on the Doritos, Hennessy, and all that. Hey, I ain't trying to get too explicit, but I'm just saying, man, be wanting all these things and it's like, ugh.
Black and Milds and Cheetos.
Again, man, we gonna get into this health. Bravo is gonna come through here, and of course, you know he all about the health with the Jam fam. He's gonna, you know what I'm saying, let you know, man, we messing up over here. We need to get right and get it tight.
Exactly. I do just want to throw in for men, a heavily animal-based diet can lead to prostate cancer for y'all. So
and erectile dysfunction, you
yes.
can't get it up.
A lot,
and your arteries are clogged.
Yes. So definitely, just be mindful of those things.
I really feel like y'all holding back. I really feel like y'all is a lot more y'all want to say, but you're like, we don't have time to go through this. Y'all sure that's the only thing y'all want men to know?
That is a majority. That is. Do you have anything else?
Terrica's like, I don't know.
I don't think I have, too much of anything. I mean, at the end of the day, as a man, you can't expect certain things from your woman if you're not doing those things yourself. So if you want your girl to taste like pineapples, then you need to be eating healthy as well, instead of throwing back the hot wings and whatever else that makes you happy.
Man, get it together. You gotta eat right.
That's it. Keep it light.
Again, as a man, I can't speak for all men, but I gotta say I appreciate women. Y'all do so much. Y'all are really the glue. A lot of people who don't know history and who don't know stuff, especially when it comes down to like the civil rights movement, black women really put a lot of that stuff together and held it together. Whether it was, you know what I'm saying, the marches, whether it was the Black Panther Party and all that, like y'all hold everything together. And without, you know what I'm saying, every great man needs a great woman to sit there and be, you know what I'm saying, help him. Because as man, I hate when I hear other men be like, oh, she crazy, she tripping. I hate men who make women seem crazy, because to me, I done seen that become the new norm of women. Be like, oh, I'm crazy. I'm crazy. And it's just like, you're not crazy. Stop saying that. Like, you're really speaking this onto yourself because you've had other people sit there and tell you, as man, stop making women feel like they're tripping. They're not. Listen to them. How can somebody be tripping if that's how they feel? If a woman is sitting there telling you how she feels, that's not tripping, that's not nagging, that's not bitching, that's not whatever you want to call it. Listen to her and try to, you know what I'm saying, talk the situation out. Man just get wild and just disrespectful with it. Like, man, she bugging, she doing all this. Just like, nah, bro, she expressing how you feel. And it's not too many times, because once you lose a woman mentally, oh, you done, bro. You not coming back from that. Like, once she decides mentally she gone, it's a wrap.
We have completely checked out. That is so true.
That is true.
As a man, stop making women feel like they tripping. They not. They expressing their feelings. And it's only so many times they gonna express themselves before things change, and you're gonna be like, what happened?
And when you're listening, you gotta listen to understand and not listen to respond. When I read that, I was like, that is the greatest thing ever. Because a lot of times we're listening to our partner or whoever, but you're listening so you can jump back with a response to them, so you can speak your case. But if you listen to understand and both sides do that, you can accomplish a lot more.
And you just got to acknowledge when you're wrong. Like, if she expressing the feelings and you're not, you know what I'm saying, performing, not doing something right, shut up and listen, bro. Take notes. And man, as a man, you not always right. We need adjustments sometimes, and it's only certain things that, like, we need to do. We need to listen to women more. Because as men, it's only so much we can see, and women, that's what having a good woman does. She has those eyes that, you know what I'm saying, we off. She gonna get it right. Like, hey, maybe you need to be doing this, and it's not to check you or to try to, you know what I'm saying, make you feel like you're not doing enough or like, you know what I'm saying, being dumb. It's just, hey, she's seeing something you don't, so listen to her and adjust to what she's seeing. So
that's really great advice. That's like it deserves a gym.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Copy
that's a gym, okay?
Again, as man, we going to get it right in the next episode. But like, hey, that's just little tidbits of advice. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's something that I've learned over the years. It's just like, hey, women can see stuff that man can't. Because how many times have men be like, man, I should have listened to you when you said this and that. Nah. Or like when men get lost and like, hey, go ask for directions. As a man, you got that bravado. You got that, I ain't asking nothing. And then you get lost for 12 hours. Now your woman looking at you like, man, I done told you to ask. Or she got to ask and all that. It's just, hey, learn from your women. Learn from the women.
We're a team. We're a team.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we talked about it the other day, like gender roles, like everybody's pitting the genders against each other. Stop. You know what I'm saying? You got people like Kevin Samuels and all that, and Derek Jackson who pander to people. And it's Kevin Samuels don't really pander, but he be blunt about it. But again, stop pitting men and women against each other. Hey, everybody's at fault. Men mess up, women mess up. Hey, it's about learning from the mistakes, finding the perfect puzzle piece, and hey, building that super team.
And I feel like not having this cookie cutter, by the book, this is how it's supposed to be. Every relationship does not have to look like a carbon copy of each other.
Every relationship is different too. Like everything's gonna work, you know what I'm saying, based on what you and your partner have an understanding about. And certain people ain't gonna understand, and that's fine as long as you two understand. That's the most important thing.
That's it. Because gender roles will not work for every situation.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But we're running out of time.
We need a relationship advice episode.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Relationship advice. Coming soon. But we're going to wrap it up here at the Growth, Health, and Wellness Podcast. I've been your host, Jesse the Truth, and my co-host,
Tierica.
And our wonderful guest, Chinwe Orabuchi. Again, check her out. She has an event coming up May 15th. Her tickets go on sale next month. Y'all don't want to miss it. You know
What's your event? Real quick.
It is a brunch, a health and wellness brunch.
Nah, don't. She's not going to just say it like that.
Come on, give us the details.
Yes, it is a health and wellness brunch. It is focused on me presenting some of my plant-based foods and giving people healthier alternatives, options, and ways to just incorporate a healthier lifestyle.
Of course, and she's going to be speaking. It's going to be drinks served, and you're going to have a great time.
It's going to be a vibe.
Exactly. So
I love it.
Follow her page. Stay tuned when she drop that. Get them tickets. And as always, we're going to drop the next episode. Unfortunately, the next episode is going to be the last to wrap up season 1. And then we'll be back with you with season 2 with more great gems. Season. Absolutely. It's been a brilliant season. So again, peace, love, and happiness. As always, thank you.